Carpentry practice test. Question 1. Joist hangers are used for which of the following? Supporting joists against beams, keeping joists straight during delivery, inspection. There is no such thing as a joist hanger. The main purpose of a joist hanger is to hold a joist 90 degrees to any type of beam as per the building code. All hangers are to be nailed with specific hanger nails in all available holes. Question 2. The smallest mark on an imperial ruler is millimeter, 1/16 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. An imperial ruler is divided into 16 ths per inch and boulder lines for balance of fractions up to an inch. Question 3. What type of hammer is commonly selected for trim work? Framing hatchet, 28-ounce long handle waffle head, 20-ounce long handle straight claw, 16-ounce wood handle curved claw. A 16-ounce curved claw hammer is a basic all-purpose hammer used in carpentry. The others listed are for specific applications. Question 4. What are plywood clips used for? Straightening floor sheathing, keeping plywood straight in stacks, supporting roof sheathing edges between the trusses. There is no such thing as a plywood clip. Clips are used when sheathing roofs framed with trusses due to being 24-inch on center. The clip holds the plywood from being too weak between spans. Question 5. A contractor is to excavate a basement containing 58,500 cu foot. She removes 3,950 cu foot, then 9,325 cu foot, then 6,581 cu foot, and finally 4,873 cu foot. How many cubic feet remain in the basement? 31,071 cu foot, 33,771 cu foot, 33,861 cu foot, 34,131 cu foot. The answer is calculated by subtracting each of the cu foot dimensions from the total. Question 6. What is PL 400? Drill bit size, type of construction adhesive, number of teeth on a hacksaw, plywood specification. PL 400 is a construction adhesive used in securing plywood to joist and other wood-to-wood surfaces. Question 7. Which is not a rule for laying out stairs? The product obtained by multiplying one rise height by the tread width should be between 70 and 75 inches. The sum of two risers is always the same. The sum of one riser and one tread should be between 17 and 18 inches. The number of treads and risers is always the same. Stairs are calculated by rise and run for a specific opening. The tread and rise would never be equal. Question 8. Calculate 1/4 inch plus 1/4 inch. Too small to calculate. 1/8 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. The answer is calculated by adding two 1/4 inch units or multiplying by 2 to equal 1/2 inch. Question 9. A wood auger bit mark 10 will drill with what diameter? 1 inch, 1/3 inch, 5/8 inch, 10/32 inch. It is calculated by January 16th scale, so number 10 would be 10/16 inch or 5/8 inch. Question 10. The path a saw blade cuts in a piece of wood is called waste, kerf, clearance, set. This is the narrow channel left behind by the saw and the measure of its width. Factors are blade, blade teeth and wobble of cut. Question 11. When squaring up a large rectangular object, which method would be the least acceptable to use? 6, 8, 10 method. Calculate a diagonal measurement. Measure diagonally both ways. Framing square. Large rectangular objects are squared by either using the 3, 4, 5 method or by taking diagonal measurements. The framing square is too small for large areas. Question 12. When nailing two 6-inch joists, what nail should be used? 12D, 18D, 20D. All of the above can be used. 12D common nails are standard fasteners for any 2x4, 6, 8, 10, 12 application. Question 13. There are 808 4-penny nails in a pound. How many are there in 22 3/4 pounds? 17,776, 18,180, 18,382, 18,584. Simply multiply 808 x 22.75 to calculate the answer. Question 14. How many pieces of lumber 1 inches wide will be needed to cover a 42-inch wide space? 24, 26, 32, 42. If the lumber is 1 inch wide, then it would take 42 pieces to cover the space. But remember, this is nominal size 1 inch, not actual size of 3/4. Question 15. How many 2x4 blocks 22.5 inches long can be cut from a 2x4 that is 8 feet long? 2, 4, 6, 8. Divide 22.5 into 96 and your answer will be 4 with 6 inches left, ignoring kerf as per standard simple math problem context. Question 16. Subtract 3 and 15 32 inches from 9 and 1/16 inches, 5 and 19 32 inches, 5 and 15 16 inches, 6 inches, 6 and 19 32 inches. Simple subtraction, you need to change 1/16 to 2 32 and then change 9 and 2 32 to 8 and 34 32, 3 and 15 32 equals 5 and 19 32. Question 17. What is 1/2 of 23 feet and 11 and 9/16 inches, 10 feet and 11 and 15/16 inches, 11 feet and 9 and 25 32 inches, 11 feet and 10 inches, 11 feet and 11 and 25 32 inches? You will need to divide 23 feet 11 and 9/16 inches by 2. Remember, you need to change fraction to decimal and decimal to fraction. Question 18. Which number is greatest? 0.246, 0.08, 0.3, 0.07. The largest number closest to the decimal would be the greatest value. Question 19. Add 15 feet and 6 3/4 inches, plus 5 feet and 11 and 5/8 inches, plus 11 feet and 5 7/16 inches, plus 6 feet and 9 3/16 inches, 39 feet and 9 inches, 40 feet, 40 feet and 9 inches, 42 feet and 6 inches. Add all 4 dimensions together, changing fractions to 16 ths to calculate answer. 15 feet 6 and 12/16 inches plus 5 feet 11 and 10/16 inches plus 11 feet 5 and 7/16 inches plus 6 feet 9 and 3/16 inches equals 37 feet 31 and 32/16 inches equals 37 feet 33 inches equals 39 feet 9 inches. Question 20. A lot measures 112 feet and 5 inches x 88 feet and 3 inches x 97 feet and 6 inches x 114 feet and 2 inches. What is the distance around the lot? For 112 feet and 4 inches, for 112 feet and 10 inches, for 114 feet, for 120 feet. Add all 4 measurements, total all inches and change to feet before calculating. 114 feet 2 inches plus 112 feet 5 inches plus 88 feet 3 inches plus 97 feet 6 inches equals 411 feet 16 inches equals 412 feet 4 inches. Question 21. What is the perimeter of a square with sides 9 feet and 6 inches long, 36 feet and 2 inches, 38 feet, 38 feet and 6 inches, 40 feet? Multiply 9 feet 6 inches x 4. For x 9 foot equals 36. For x 6 inch equals 24 equals 2 foot. 36 foot plus 2 equals 38. Question 22. Which is greater in inches? 9/16, 5/8, 3/16, 3/4, 47/64 or 1/2. 9/16 inch, 3/4 inch, 5/8 inch, 47/64 inch. If you change all dimensions to 16/64 ths, you will find that 3/4 or 48/64 is greater than the others. Question 23. The area of a right triangle having legs 10 feet long is 50 square feet. True, false? A right triangle is half of a square, so 10x10 would be 100 sq4 divided by 2 equals 50 square foot. Question 24. When using a circular saw, the best way to prevent kickback is to keep the blade sharp. True, false? Kickback happens when the saw binds between the 2 pieces, not allowing it to pass completely through. You should always have one of the pieces free to fall downward on the opposite side you are cutting. Question 25. Subcontractors are required for work at a building site, and 2 have bid on the job. Subcontractor A will do the job in 16 hours at $133.00/hour and subcontractor B will do the job in 14 hours at $153.00/hour. Subcontractor A has the lower bid. True, false. Multiply 16x $133 and 14x $153. Wait, input says $153 in text but $157 in explanation. I'll use 153 for calculations as per AB prompt. 16 times 133 is equal to 2128, 14 times 153 is equal to 2142. A is lower. A 16x 133 equals 2128. B 14x 153 equals 2142.